Ford Mustang was always an easy comparison with the Capri, especially in marketing terms. And it was a comparison made even easier in 2010 when it was revealed that Philip T. Clark, one of the lead designers on the Mustang project, was actually responsible for the Ford Capri, for Britain's very own pony car, or the sexy European, as it was known in the States. But I'm not here to compare a Ford Mustang to this Capri 280 Brooklands, mostly because I'm missing a key ingredient there. I'm here to show you that this Ford Capri makes as much sense to classic motorists in 2015 as it did to showroom browsers back in the 80s. The 2.8 injection was a last attempt by Ford to frantically bail out some water from the fast-sinking Capri ship. The facelifted Mark III car did little to halt the fall in sales across the world. So Britain was targeted because Ford realised that we're a nation of car nerds and had taken the Capri to our hearts as a cult favourite. In the second half of the 80s, Ford began a so-called range rationalisation programme with the Capri, which was quite clearly a turning down of the taps ready for the end of production. But despite this, the 2.8 injection got a bit of a revamp, including interior and exterior trim options and extending to mechanicals such as the limited slip differential, which made this a very desirable classic Ford. Essentially, the 2.8 injection Capri extended the life of the model by 2 to 3 years compared to planned production timescales, a decision probably easier justified behind the wheel than in the boardroom. Originally planned as a turbocharged Capri 500, the boardroom had a final twist of the knife, and the remaining 1,000 or so cars were painted green and named the 280 Brooklands, minus the blower. In its day, the 280 Brooklands Capri was a very credible, very reliable, very capable sports car. And in classic car terms, not much has changed. If you can find a good example like this version from Great Escape Cars, you'll find any excuse to get out and drive it. It's powerful, it handles well, it's stylish, and having gone up in value in the last few years quite significantly, the Capri is quite a player in the classic Ford world. In some ways, the end of production for the Ford Capri signalled the end of the outright sports car as a mainstream model in its own right. Ford, like other manufacturers, was turning its attention to sporty versions of its saloons and hatchbacks, and so cars like the Capri met their natural end. But you can't be too sad about the demise of the Ford Capri if indeed it handed the sporty baton in Ford's range to cars like the Sierra Cosworth. And of course, there are still enough of these cars around to make getting behind the wheel of one yourself a very realistic prospect. And my advice would be do. Really do.